creating an unlawful office in Doge.
Elon Musk and Doge want to take a chainsaw to the federal budget.
Doge is nothing but a cover-up. Like, it's a scam, kind of like...
What's the cover-up for?
For, Elon Musk.
Democrats continuing to rail against Elon Musk and Doge as Musk takes a step back from that role. The White House says that the effort to slash spending will continue, including the proposal to cut $163 billion in federal spending from the budget. That's about the number that Doge accumulated going through all of the DEI programs and other things that they said they found were fraudulent and wasteful in the budget. Russell Vought, director of the Office of Management and Budget, is a driving force behind that effort, and he joins us now. Mr. Vought, good to have you back on the program. Do you want to respond to those comments from Jasmine Crockett and others who say that this is just, Doge is a big scam and that it really was designed to make Elon Musk money?
I find it to be totally outrageous, and I think the American people know it's untrue. Doge has been a paradigm shift in Washington, D.C., and this is one of the most exciting times to be in D.C. in this administration and be fighting on behalf of taxpayers to find waste, abuse, areas where the government is weaponized against the American people. We've put forward a budget that accounts for $160 billion of non-defense cuts while still providing for critical areas of government that we think are important, and yet will allow us to have the lowest non-defense level that we've seen since 2017, getting back to pre-COVID levels. So it's an exciting time, and Doge has been a partner throughout.
So the goal was $1 trillion in those cuts. And we talked about this last time about whether or not you are going to be the point person, the lead person on continuing Doge after Elon Musk spends less time and goes back to focusing more on his own businesses. Will you be that person? And what is your goal for a total number? And when do you think you can reach it?
Look, a lot of editorial writers and news reports, I think, have been over their skis with regard to me being named for Doge. I'm doing two jobs. That's what I've been given the responsibility to do. One is OMB. It's an opportunity to do it for the second time, and one is the head of the CFPB. But we intend to take the Doge agenda and the cuts and the momentum and the initiative and turn those into permanent savings. That's what we believe is our responsibility. Yeah. We're in the midst of the appropriations process. We got that budget moving forward, and we're in the midst of reconciliation to have significant, over $1.5 trillion in reforms to the welfare safety net to make sure that people are not improperly benefiting from these programs who are ineligible, i.e. they're also illegal aliens, 1.4 million just from the Medicaid program alone, and instituting work requirements in Medicaid in a fundamental way. These are paradigm shifts that we are now doing because of the work that's been done across the administration to put us in this moment.
Well, I just think a lot of people want to see that effort continue. I remember Elon Musk saying that, the ship will sink, basically. The United States will not be able to go on ultimately with the kind of debt and waste that exists in our government. So who is going to lead the charge after Elon Musk steps a little bit to the side?
Well, I'll let the president make those kinds of announcements in conjunction with Elon. But look, Doge is at work. They're not going away. They're a partner. I talk to them every single day. We're linked up. And I think the American people can have great confidence that this incredible initiative is moving forward, and we're going to make as much gains in the moment as we possibly can.
So what do you say to Hakeem Jeffries? We played some sound from him right before we went to the break to introduce you. And he says approximately 14 million people will lose their health insurance, their health coverage. Hospitals will close. Nursing homes will shut down. He says this is really a matter of life and death. The cuts that would amount to $625 billion in Medicaid over 10 years. What do you say to him?
It's totally false. And what they do is they do scare tactics, and they've done this throughout history. I mean, in the 1990s, it was welfare reform, and we saw a number of these contrived CBO estimates. And look, when you unpack it, It's people that are not eligible for Medicaid and making sure that we have the opportunity to get those people off of Medicaid. It's people that are
Which is
illegal
a fraudulent
alien.
request for funds, essentially.
Exactly. And at the same time, trying to get a handle on the way that states have inappropriately used the system for essentially state-sanctioned fraud or money laundering, where they put taxes on providers to get a larger share from the federal government. And then they use that not just for care for the vulnerable or the disabled. In fact, they go out and use that money to get larger welfare benefits throughout the state. California does this, and they put illegal aliens on federal roll. So we think this money laundering, this state-sanctioned fraud needs to be put an end to. This bill does it, but it's not going to put states in a position where they can't sell.
I can't figure out why Democrats are so upset, Jasmine Crockett as well, about finding wasted money and getting rid of it. It really gives the taxpayer more bang for their buck if that's pursued and it's successful. I have just one more question. It's a little bit out of your area, but it does have to do with the management of our budget. So the bipartisan infrastructure bill under Biden allocated $25 billion over 5 years to fix the FAA. What happened to that money? Because I heard Sean Duffy, talking about that, but also suggesting that they might need more money at some point. So where's the $25 billion that was supposed to fix the FAA?
Well, look, there is some money remaining, piecemeal funding. Well, in general, what we saw from the Biden administration was they used money never to fix actual problems of the American people, but to push their woke and weaponized agenda in general. But there's money available. What we haven't seen is a sustained, immediate, and focused effort to deal with the air traffic control system that so clearly needs modernization. We've been working with Secretary Duffy to make sure that we have a proposal that they can send up to the Hill. It's being reflected already in the reconciliation bill. And we believe this is the time. This is not a president that shirks problems. This is a president who takes them on. And we have a great ambassador on this issue with regard to Secretary Duffy to make sure it gets done.
Well, if you're telling me that $25 billion went to DEI programs and green initiatives, that somebody ought to be held accountable because now the planes can't speak to the people in the towers, and we got a big problem, as you well know. Russell Vought, thank you very much. OMB, always good to have you here, sir.
Thank you.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.